Hello, vinyl community. Welcome back. This is Hub Tunes. I am Mike, and we're doing a video I started a few years ago it's a year-end video. These are my favorite videos of the year. I love watching your videos and making these videos and learning all the music I missed. Because, no matter how hip you think you are to the kids' rock and roll, I always miss cool ass music, and you guys always turn me on to new shit. And the end of the year, it turns after I did my favorite new releases of 2024. I watched a couple of videos, and I'm telling you, there was at least like four more that I could have added on there, or I didn't even know about, and it just really cool stuff. So thank you guys for all your work making these year-end videos. I dig this shit, man. I've already got like 4 things ordered for next year. So this is a video I started making a couple years ago. I noticed I watch a lot of jazz channels because I think that's the best way to learn about jazz and to keep it cheap is just word of mouth. Word of mouth, streaming it and buying it. That's my whole philosophy, and actually just any kind of music, but especially jazz for me. So I noticed a few years ago, every jazz channel I was watching, it was people just showing dead people. Every artist was dead, and yeah, put that down low. Every artist that people were showing was like from the 50s and 60s. No one was alive, and no one was talking about new jazz. Now there are some channels that definitely do, no doubt about it. But I've always enjoyed jazz, and I go see a lot of jazz shows still, of artists who are alive. So I decided to make a year-end compilation of my favorite jazz artists. Some of these won't be traditional jazz. Favorite jazz artists from 2024 who are not dead. So here we go. I got 15. We'll just zip right through them. They're kind of, the last one's definitely going to be number one. So this is an album, kind of caught me by surprise. I am a huge fan of Andrew Bird. Andrew Bird, he plays violin. He's also the guy who whistles. Everyone knows him as the guy who whistles. He's from the Chicago area. I've seen him many, many times. I've seen him with Wilco and all kinds of different bands. He's been around for many, many years, 25, 30 years at least. And he released an album, and this is more of a traditional jazz vocal. And it is called, what's it called? Sunday Morning Put On. And that's exactly what this record is. It's a Sunday morning put on. If it's cold and snowy and you want to just hang out and drink coffee, this is a great record to do that to. It has vocals. It is all mostly standards. And he just rearranges them in his Andrew Bird kind of way. He's got a quirky style, and it works. It works on a lot of these songs. He does a Caravan, I Didn't Know What Time It Was, My Ideal, I Cover the Waterfront is great. It's a terrific record if you're into vocal jazz performances. He has the great Jeff Parker from the band Tortoise is on guitar on, I think it's just side 2. I think what it is it's 2 trios. Side 1 is 1 trio, side 2 is the second trio. And the second trio I love. It's got Jeff Parker on guitar and Larry Goldings on drums. Really, really, really good record. If you you gotta like vocal standards, jazzy stuff, and then you throw Andrew Bird in the middle and he does his weirdness to it and makes it quirky and fun. And yeah, really good record. I was very surprised by it, and I don't see anyone in the VC talking about it. I don't know anyone who even has mentioned it. But good record, really good record. Vocal jazz, that's the only time you'll hear me say vocal jazz in this video. You will hear me say Jeff Parker many times, though. This is a record I picked up. This was at Coal Mine Records, I believe. Was it Coal Mine? I don't remember. But I saw I think it was. I saw this advertised so many times on like Instagram and Facebook and whatever these accounts I follow. And I was just enamored with the artwork. And I thought, well, I gotta check this out. And there was only like 1 song available on streaming. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So, I don't know. I bought it. It's okay. It's not great. It's called Karate Boogaloo Hold Your Horses. And this is the artwork I saw. And I was just kind of blown away by the artwork. I thought it was really well done. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Is it a great record? No. It's guitar. It's very minimalist. It's very, some of it does kind of start to sound a little bit of the same throughout the whole thing. But it's a good record. It's a very good record. This says it came out in 2023. I don't think it did. I think well, maybe it did, and I just picked it up in 2024. But really interesting. I don't know. Maybe on a busier year, it wouldn't have made my list, but I'm kind of digging it. I really am. It's pretty cool. Funk Music Group. Yes, definitely on Coal Mine Records. And Coal Mine you can't go wrong with. So check this out. It's a really good record. Next up, I put this in the jazz. I've seen other people put it in just regular releases of the year. But this is Hermanos Gutierrez, their new album, Sonido Cosmico. And this is Latin guitar-based music. It fits perfectly in this video. I like these guys a lot. Their albums, it's all that same style of acoustic, Latin-tinged guitar work. Mostly acoustic. This happens to be I probably wouldn't have even put this in this, but this happens to be my favorite album of theirs. I have two of their other records. They're good. They're very good. Little Blue Marble. They're very good records. But this one definitely is my favorite. Definitely my favorite of their records. So if you like that Brazilian Latino acoustic guitar sound, these guys are great. Really good. I'd love to see them in concert. I have not seen them. I'm sure they tour. But very cool cover too. I dig that. So yeah, I like that. This next one, yeah, it's jazz. It's jazz. It's soul jazz. It's rock and roll. It's a fun style of music. And this is Parlor Greens. In Green We Dream. This is Jimmy James. He used to be the guitarist for the Delvon Lamar Trio, one of my favorite just fun party bands. I've seen them live, God, probably 6 times. They're great. He was the guy, I don't know if he was their original guitarist. I'm pretty sure he is, actually. Funny dude. A character on stage, a terrific guitarist. I dug when he was in Delvon Lamar. I absolutely loved them. I thought they had great banter and on-stage presence, and just a cool dude. He just seemed like a lot of fun. Like you just want to hang out and have a beer with him. So I picked this up. I have not seen them live, although they're touring pretty big. He's got Tim Carmen on drums and Adam Scone on organ. And it's a little bit more guitar-based, seeing he's the leader of the band and the guitarist. A little more guitar-based than the Delvon trio. But yeah, this is great. It's right along the same lines, man. If you like the Delvon Lamar trio, you're going to love this. Just a little more guitar, and he's a hell of a guitarist. So yeah, I highly recommend picking this up. This is great. This also says 2003, or 23, but I definitely picked this up. This definitely. I think it came out streaming in 2023, but the vinyl came out in 2024. So yeah, Parlor Greens. Definitely check them out if you like Delvon Lamar. This is a cool record. I'm gonna try and pronounce this. Jubai. I have heard a couple of records that he has done collaborating with other people. There's a great Norwegian jazz band, EAS or EBS. Really, really good collaboration. Middle Eastern, definitely a Middle Eastern vibe, which you guys know I dig. I love Indian music, and I love when it's combined with modern jazz, and that's what this is. The first songs like almost, it's just a bluesy song. Actually, I think it's called Lahori Blues, and the first couple of songs are more straightforward jazz, but then the second side and towards the end of the first side, really, you can hear the Middle Eastern influences and his influences. This is the only album I've ever bought by him. It's called Desire Devotion. One side is Desire and one side is Devotion. And yeah, this is the first record I've ever bought by him. I dig it. I wish it was a little bit more Middle Eastern-y, if that's a word. But yeah, actually it's called A Sound Heart. But really good. I highly recommend it. Again, another one I have not seen people talking about. I need to dig more into his discography, because I really am enjoying his music. The next one, okay, this should have, I never know where to put this band, man. Because I love them, and I've talked about them before, and every time they release a new album, I'm like, oh, is that going to go in my jazz year-end video, or is that going to go in my 2024 regular favorite releases? And I always put it in the jazz, because it's all instrumental. It's rock and roll, it's hard rock, it's jam band, it's organ trio, they're a great band. I just dig these guys. They're from Norway, and this is Elephant 9. And this is their new album. We had to wait a while for a new album. It's called Mythical River. All their albums, very similar artwork. They use the same artist. This one is no exception. I do like some of their other ones better. This one is not my favorite of their covers. Cool ass stuff. Somebody asked me to describe them once, and I said they kind of sound like Deep Purple without Richie Blackmore, and just the pounding of the Hammond on this thing. I'm not going to pronounce these guys' names. They are crazy names. These Norwegian names, I can't pronounce any of them. But yeah, this dude, the leader of the band, he plays the Hammond, the Fender Rhodes, the Mini Moog, grand piano, harpsichord, mellotron, and a continuum. And then they got a bassist and a drummer. And I just dig these guys. I would die to see these guys in concert. If they ever came to the United States, there is nothing that would stop me from going. I just find them compelling and interesting. And they have 2 live albums called Psychedelic something. And those 2 live albums are where it's at. If you're going to get any of their records, start with maybe one of the studio records and then get those 2 live records. Great records. Really dig these guys. I think Mazzy might have turned me on to these guys a long time ago. Probably back in the pandemic, I discovered these guys. So yeah, really cool band. Elephant 9 out of Norway. I was so excited when I got this. The Reverend Rock and Roller, Roland, he turned me on to this guy, and these 2 guys. This is Sam Gendel and Sam Wilkes, and this is called The Duber. And they make records together. This is probably their 3rd or 4th record together, maybe more. Excellent stuff, man. It's minimal. It's just the 2 of them. There's bass, there's electronics, there's a little bit of drums, and that's it. And it's almost like they just sit down and they just start playing and recording. It's really good. It's not for everybody. Some people would say this shit's out. It's out there. I think this is probably the most accessible of the records that they've made. I like this one, but some of the other ones, they have a song, one called Song, I don't know, it's called like Record for Bass Guitar or Songs for Bass Guitar, and it's great. It's just some really cool stuff. They're all very similar in their artwork, so they look great in the collection together if you're into that. But yeah, Sam Gendel and Sam Wilkes, just very minimalist, very just deliberate, kind of like it. There's not a lot of ups and downs. It's very lo-fi. If you know, very lo-fi. This thing doesn't rock. So, but yeah, check it out. Definitely stream it. You can definitely stream them. Thanks to the Reverend for turning me on to these guys a couple of years ago. I buy everything they have. This is another turn on by somebody in the vinyl community. I believe this was Felipe, Jazz Bun Felipe. This is Amaro Fritas, and this is a interesting record. This is jungle spiritual jazz. You feel like you're walking through the jungles of Brazil with this. This is pretty cool. It's got a lot of people on it. The piano work on here is stunning, absolutely stunning. Gatefold, just a interesting record. Every time I listen to it, there's something new. Yeah, it's one of those records. It's just something new over and over. Psychic Hotline put this out. The packaging is phenomenal. It's tip-on jackets. It's thick stock. Really well done record release, and it has on it Jeff Parker from Tortoise, one of my favorite guitarists. Hamid Drake, Shabika Hutchins is on here. Hutchings, Anel Suleiman, and Brandy Younger. And if you guys don't know who Brandy Younger is, check her out. She is an absolutely amazing harp player. I don't know where she's based out of, but I've seen her a couple of times here in Chicago at the Jazz Showcase, and she is terrific. I saw her for a couple of years. She was in Ravi Coltrane's band, and I had the great pleasure of seeing her in his band in New York at Birdland, and they did Alice Coltrane songs like all night long, and it was phenomenal. And she's a terrific harp player. But that gives you an idea of what kind of music this is. You know, when you got a harp player, you know it's going to be very spiritual and very soothing and just really good. Like I said, this makes you, listening to this thing makes you feel like you're just in the jungle of Brazil. It's a wonderful record, and like I said, every time I've listened to it, I hear new stuff, and it's just the soundscape of this thing is just phenomenal. So yeah, Amaro Fritas. I'm pronouncing that wrong. This actually, I believe, is a reissue of. Well, I don't know if it. This might be a newer release, but I love this. I totally dig this. I was turned on to these guys. I was turned on to them last year because their album that came out last year was absolutely phenomenal. I'm saying that a lot about these records, but especially these top 5 are just incredible albums. A couple of people online told me about this. I didn't know it had come out. And this is Organic Pulse Ensemble, and it's their most recent album, Zither Sweet. And I dig these guys. Again, spiritual, kind of out there, but man, really good. This is number 263 of 500, so I don't think this is available. I'm sorry. I don't like showing records that, hey, look at this great record. It's incredible. You can't get it. I hate that. But if they should repress this, because 500's not enough. This thing is incredible. Their album from 2023, I believe it was, is a double. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. I think it was one of my top records of 2023. It might have been number 1. It was either number 1 or number 2. But Organic Pulse Ensemble, again, very out there, and there's no harp on this, but the sounds they're getting, it's got that world sound, that world beat sound. It's got a little bit of like Indian. It's just all over the place. It's hard to describe, but excellent record. Organic Pulse Ensemble. Okay, the next 3 records are from the incredible record label International Anthem, based out of Chicago, here in Chicago. These guys are kicking ass, man. And this is the best year of all their releases. I'll usually buy 3 or 4 of their releases in a year. This year, I think I've bought like 6. They're just kicking ass, and great stuff. And this first one is incredible. I can't wait to fucking see this band live. This is called Small, Medium, Large. Awesome electronic jazz. Really cool shit, man. This is incredible. It's on orange vinyl. I'm not pulling it out. You know what orange vinyl looks like. Anna Buttress is the electric bassist, and I had the opportunity to see her one night. She did an album release party. She did like an electronic duo record a couple years ago, and she opened for Jamie Branch right before she passed away. And I didn't know who Anna Buttress was. Is it Buttress? Buttress. Um, wow. Just it blew me away. And that night it was like I was like, man, electronic music's not thoroughly my thing, but man, in the last like 5 years, I've really been getting into some of it. And this woman was no doubt just incredible. And I've been buying everything she releases now, and this is absolutely wonderful. It's Anna Buttress on bass, Jeremiah Chu on synthesizers, who's very cool. I got to meet him one night at a little. I went to like a little music festival at a conservatory, Garfield Park Conservatory here in Chicago, which is just it's plants. There's just plants everywhere, and they set up like DJs and stages and bands in between all the plants and stuff. It was an awesome event. But I got to meet him that night, and he seems like a really good dude. And then Josh Johnson on saxophone, and then there's a guitarist, Gregory Ullman. So it's you got a saxophonist, you got drummers, you got synthesizers, bassist, guitar. But then they kind of just throw in like this little electronic here and there, and it's a great record. I really want to see them live. But this is SML, small, medium, large, on International Anthem. This is good, man. That is really good. The next one is Anna Buttress again. This is her album Alone. Well, not Alone, but it is her, Josh Johnson on sax, Gregory Ullman on guitar, Ben Lismonde on drums and guitar, steel guitar, and drum programming. She is on bass again and flute, and the great Jeff Parker from Tortoise on guitar. Really cool record. My only complaint about this, not long enough. I mean, it's 10 songs, but man, this thing flies by. I wish this was a double record. I love the artwork too. The artwork is just great. It's called Mighty Vertebrae. Sorry. It's called Mighty Vertebrae. It's kind of covered. See, that's why I called it Anyway, yeah, again, International Anthem, just knocking it out of the park with this traditional jazz. This is a little more electronic than the previous one, but man, this is great. Really good release. I'm digging like electronic jazz and stuff yeah, I'm going on too long because we're already at 23 minutes. Next up, again, International Anthem out of Chicago. And this is, again, Jeff Parker. The Way Out of Easy. And this is straight up jazz. This is not electronic. This is just some guys jamming in a freaking back room somewhere. Look at these guys. Awesome stuff. I love Jeff Parker. Such an interesting artist. He can straight out jam. He can do spiritual. He can do avant-garde. He can do just anything on his guitar. I saw him one night, and it was just him and his guitar, and he was making some weird ass noises and electronic guitar and this, and it was just it was crazy, but it was interesting. It was so interesting. But this is more straightforward. Really good record. It just came out. It's a double record. Jeff Parker obviously on guitar. Josh Johnson, we've just mentioned on the previous two records, on alto sax. Anna Buttress on double bass. And Jay Bellerose, again, on drums. So International Anthem is becoming almost like the Blue Note of the 2000s. All these guys are all playing on each other's records, just digging each other. I just think they do a terrific job. The packaging is always outstanding. You get the Obi on most of them. I did pick up one this year that didn't have an Obi, and I was kind of surprised. But but most of them have like a weird obi, which, I don't necessarily mean. Actually, it kind of ruins this beautiful photo on the cover. Double record. Some of like the early releases are on colored vinyl. You can usually get like the early stuff on, if you get an early release, it'll be on colored vinyl. But gatefolds, sturdy jackets. They always have their little inner sleeves, their personalized inner sleeves. This one's on like a weird, I always buy the early ones just because I'm on their email list and I buy shit. But yeah, this is a great band, man. I hope he tours with this little group. I know he is doing some shows. I know he's doing a few shows, but I have not seen anything here local, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, really good, really good. Long songs. Freakadelic, the opener is 25 minutes. Late Autumn is 20 minutes. Easy Way Out is 22, and Chrome Dome is 17. So there's only 4 songs. Just some good old-fashioned jazz jamming. Really good stuff. Next up, the next 2 I had to look up to make sure they were 2024 because, man, these came out in like January of 2024, and I thought there's no possible way. I thought they came out in 2023, so I did look them up. This is Kahil El-Zabar's Ethnic Heritage Ensemble, and it's Open Me a Higher Consciousness of Sound and Spirit. Awesome artwork. Really dig this. Again, unbelievable packaging. This thing is gorgeous. Double record set. Terrific packaging. It's beautiful artwork. A friend of mine turned me on to this, a guy actually who hangs out at our local pub, and I had never heard this. And I ended up going to see Kahil El-Zabar right after this came out, and he was touring with David Murray, who apparently he's been friends with, the great saxophone player. He's been friends with for decades and decades and decades. They're still doing that tour now, and I saw him back in January. And you can go into my playlists and see under concert reviews. It was a good concert, but the venue absolutely sucked. It was horrible. It was a horrible venue. It was kind of a multi-purpose venue. It was not for jazz or for music, really. So that it kind of ruined the entire show. The sound was awful. The bartender was awful. There was a like a Slurpee machine at the bar, like one of those ice machines things, and it was going around. It was going through the whole damn show. And this is just the 2 of them on stage. It's not like it's a big loud show. You could hear it through the entire show, and no one turned it off. It was very, very disappointing. But the music was cool. Nobody, well, maybe some people would know. Obviously, Kahil El-Zabar is a drummer, percussionist. He's a very good drummer. In fact, the songs he played that he did, where he kind of took lead at the show, were the better songs than when David Murray did. I thought David Murray's pretty cool. There's some trumpet on here. There's some sax on here. There's some violin, viola, and a cello. It's got, it's an ethnic heritage ensemble is what it is. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's spiritual. It's out there a little bit. Kahil, he can do some really out there stuff. I dig it. I really, really like this record. It's hard to believe this was 2024. I'm probably wrong, but I did look it up and it did say 2024. But it seems like I've been listening to this record for years. I really, really like it. So that was my number 2. My number 1. Again, I had to look to see if this came out in 2024 because, again, I feel like I've been listening to this album for 2 years. And it did. It came out in 2024, early January, I think it was. And I want to say Felipe from the Jazz Bums turned me onto this. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. This is EEG Coherence. Look at this artwork. Is that awesome? Can you see what happened though? When this was shipped to me, it was in one of those stupid plastic sleeves with the tape where it sticks. And when I was taking it out, the sticky stuck and ruined the cover. Now, because of the cover design, it's not that noticeable. You might not have even noticed it if I didn't point it out. Disappointing. I hate those sleeves. I don't know why people use them. I see Mike at the In-Groove uses them for all his records. I hate those things. This I love. This record is absolutely phenomenal, and it has Devin Braha. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Devin Braha Waldman, who I think is the best thing going right now. His album before this, it was just called Braha. Unbelievable, and that was from 2023. So that's probably why I'm thinking, this was too. But oh my God, this dude is the hottest jazz musician going right now. He's a saxophonist. He plays keyboard. He plays piano. You got Sam Shabaldi on electric guitar, Morgan Moore on acoustic bass and electric bass, Liam O'Neill on drums, Janice Lowe on vocals and flute. Now there's not a lot of vocals, and if there are vocals, it's more, atmospheric vocals. 5 songs. This opening song, Jitters, is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's so damn good. The second song, Apology, is excellent. Medicine Woman opens the second side. This thing is freaking awesome. If you like spiritual jazz, if you like jam rock, if you just like jazz, it's not super avant-garde, it's not super spiritual, it's just right down the middle of really good jamming jazz and spiritual. It's free, but if it's free, it's the whole group going free. It's not just like a sax player going, which I don't like. But when a whole band as an ensemble goes free, that I dig. Like the Coltrane records, where he's just, even like the big one, Love Supreme. I don't like that record. I don't like his squeakiness. I know I'm gonna get comments about that. That's what I don't like about free jazz and same with Ornette Coleman. I'm not a big Ornette Coleman fan. I've tried to listen to Ornette Coleman for years and years. I just can't do Ornette Coleman. But when an ensemble goes avant-garde or free, that's cool ass shit to me, and that's what this is. And it always just comes back. It always comes back, and it's really, really well done. Yeah, man, this is good shit. EEG Coherence. Turn down the lights, pour a glass of scotch, maybe a little smoke, and just kick back and listen to this record. Really, really incredible stuff. That's it. 33 minutes. I'm sorry I took so long. Maybe if I didn't say Jeff Parker and International Anthem over and over and over again, it would have been shorter video. You guys, turn me on to some music, man. I haven't been buying a lot of jazz lately. I definitely have been cooling off on my jazz. That's why, I think a lot of these, it seems like I've had these for so long because I haven't been buying as much new stuff. The Jeff Parker just came out, and the SML and those stuff that came out in early summer. So I've cooled off a little bit on my my current jazz. People who are alive listening. So turn me on to some more stuff. Questions, comments down below. And you guys, Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. I'm truly humbled that people actually watch this after 4 years, because I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But you guys stay well. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Bye.